haircut badly.
You should open up the show with that.
Right.
Yeah.
We always doing this before we start. But anyway. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back to Kingdom Kast. It's your host, Bad Luck Chuck. And over to the top right-hand corner is my guy, Country. And we have our special guest this week on the bottom of the screen here. He's the other half of Roughing the Kicker. And if you guys remember from a few episodes back, we had Tucker Franklin on. This is the other half. He's currently an NFL draft analyst, and he's a Chiefs writer for Sports Illustrated. My guy, Jordan Foote, is this week's guest on Kingdom Kast. Jordan, how you doing this evening, man?
I'm good, Chuck, Country, man. Thank you guys for having me on. It's been a long time coming. I know I was like pestering Country for like probably a month. Like I saw Tucker go on. I was like, man, if he's letting Tucker go on, then I know I can go on the show. So, man, I'm happy to be here.
It was great to have you, man.
No, it's no problem.
The next thing is to have you and Tucker on at the same time.
For sure.
So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, let's kick things off, man. Free agency period has begun, and the biggest signing we're gonna start off with is Joe Thuney. He was from the New England Patriots. He's a guard. He signed here. I believe it's like a 5-year, $80 million deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a huge acquisition. You know, we got beat up in the trenches pretty bad in the Super Bowl, and Brett Veach went out the gate and addressed that. So Joe Thuney, he brings a lot of versatility. There's been rumors that he could slide over to left tackle, but I really don't think that's the case right on paper. But I was going to start with you, Jordan. What's your thoughts on the Joe Thuney signing by the Chiefs?
It's big, man. Like, obviously, I think tackle was like the more ideal like move that they could make. Like, if they could get a Trent Williams or whatever, that would have been huge. But man, to get Thuney, that's a pretty big fish to land. Like, he's the top 5 guard in the league. So I know we'll touch on Kyle Long probably as well. I think the guys they signed, they're not going to move. Like, Thuney, I guess, could play center, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think they signed these guys to shore up the middle of that offensive line. And man, they're paying him big bucks, but he's a really good player, so I think it's worth it.
Yeah, this is the thing that I don't get about Joe Thuney. Like, if he's such a great left guard, why would I want to move him anywhere? Let him be great where he's at. You know what I'm saying? Don't move him to center. Don't move him to left tackle. I'll try to find a left tackle, and let's jump into the we almost signed guys. Okay, so look. From all reports indicate to the very last second, the Chiefs were in on Trent Williams, right? We all agree there.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, Brett Veach knows our weakness. He knows what our fault was. He's been diligently trying to fix it. He got Joe Thuney, which is like, is that a shock? Was that a shock? Because it shocked me. I didn't think he was even on our radar or anything like that. And then to sign him and then be in it to the last second on Trent Williams, like, he's trying, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do we want him to do? You can't make Trent Williams say, yo, you got to sign with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Patrick Mahomes calls your phone and says, come play with me, and you say no, then first of all, we don't even want you to. Like, because first of all, you're not too bright. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would turn down playing with the best quarterback in the league? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, Brett Veach is getting a lot of flack today in the last couple of days. I don't get it. You know, like, the best free agent guard on the market, we got him. And we can transition to Kyle Long. Kyle Long was the most intriguing guard on the market, right? Can we say that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
We got him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want him to do? Like, we needed guards. We need tackles, though. I mean, I honestly think, in my mind, Niang is going to be the right tackle of the future. I wish he wouldn't have opted out last year. He could have got thrown in the fire, could have got some quality snaps all season. You know what I'm saying? But you bring Rimmers, bring Niang, you maybe start Rimmers off in the first 5 weeks, and then you bring Niang up, or you hope Niang beats him out at training camp. You know what I'm saying? So I think the right side is good. It's just we just need that tackle. We do need a center though. But I think the draft is where we get our center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my boy couldn't wait to let it marinate. You know what I mean? He wanted to get right to it.
Man, I've been dealing with it all day, man. And yes, Russell Okung. I would definitely sign Russell Okung.
Yeah.
And then go draft a guy to learn the same on the left and the right side. We got veteran guys. We got a young guy to learn under his tutelage. I would definitely sign Russell Okung.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna say about this, man. You know, like we clearly seen that Brett Veach was definitely trying. Like you said, we got super duper close with Trent Williams, and then you know, not to get off offensive line and everything. We got close with Juju Smith-Schuster, and he decided to stay in Pittsburgh. But just to get back to the offensive line, man,
that's a whole other.
Right. But Kyle Long, I mean,
yeah, we definitely gonna get to Juju in a second. But go ahead with your. I'm sorry.
Right, but Kyle Long, yeah, I mean, it's a solid sign. You know, I don't really have an issue with it. The only thing I'm concerned about is his injury history. Like before he took the year off, the past 4 seasons, he didn't play a full season, and he was kind of in and out the lineup. So that's like my only concern is his health. Like, is he completely healthy? Is that year off gonna help him, you know, get back to being in the lineup consistently? But the way
even though that's a valid concern, but you have LDT behind him, but he got the same concern too. He wasn't.
So does Niang. They're all kind of like you're playing with fire with all those guys, but I mean, like it's also hard to count them out. Like none of them are way over the hill. None of them had those like serious injuries, and like Long had an entire year off, so he should be okay. Niang had an entire year off and would have been healthy pretty much heading into that rookie season. And then who else were we talking about? LDT. Dude's had a year off too. So if a year off can't get them right, then I don't know if they should be playing anymore. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm more upset that Mike Rivers is back though, because like I seen the stat, you know what I mean? I seen where he had a high grade as far as like pass protection and everything, but we seen this guy playing 2 Super Bowls. Now, granted, he was out position in one of them. I mean, 2 Super Bowls. The guy didn't look good out there, man. So I don't know. I just don't want to be in that situation where we got to depend on him again in a big game. So I just hope that Brett Veach can address the depth pretty well.
Yeah.
To be fair, he was playing left tackle in the Super Bowl.
I know. I addressed that.
He's obviously not a good left tackle. no disrespect to him. Right tackle, he held down right tackle for 11 weeks.
Yeah.
Came in week 5? He held it down. He did a good job, a serviceable job for 11 weeks, and then all hell broke loose when Eric Fisher tore his Achilles.
Yeah. Man, another thing with that offensive line, like, and Country mentioned people jumping on Brett Veach, like, people have been going around saying, oh, Brett Veach should have invested in the offensive line. Like, Brett Veach did not bank on losing Niang, losing LDT, having to move Wiley around, having to move Allegretti to left guard, having to move Remmers to left guard, having Schwartz be out for the rest of the season, having Fisher like blow his Achilles. Like, you can't predict that type of stuff happening. Like, if you're losing 5 offensive linemen, no NFL team's going to be okay with that. Like, I don't care how good your quarterback is or whatever. Like, the fact that they were able to score 9 points in that Super Bowl with the unit they trotted out there, that's honestly kind of impressive, because I don't know if many other quarterbacks could have even moved the sticks a couple times with what Mahomes was going against, you know?
Yeah. And this is another point. If I definitely like Dickerson or Creed. What's his name? Creed Humphrey.
Humphrey. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are definitely 2 very solid options at 31 for me. This is what I was gonna say. Even though the offensive line sucked in the Super Bowl, I mean, there's no getting around it. We patchworked the offensive line for over 18 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we put Rimmers in, we put Allegretti in, we put Daniel Kilgore in, we put this guy, that guy, you, me, Chuck. It doesn't matter. It's like we for 18 weeks, 19 weeks, what is it, 20 weeks with all the whatever. We played 19 games, 20 games, whatever. And with duct tape and a prayer and some string, we went all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, man, why are y'all? It's not crazy. If we get Okun, we get Villanueva, can they hold up for 15, 16 weeks? And then everybody in the same breath, everybody says, well, Patrick Mahomes, he makes them better. And he doesn't need all that time. And he can scramble. So they don't have to be perfect. Like, they don't have to be elite for 20 weeks. They just got to be very good for 15 games. That's it. Just get us to the playoffs and then be good for 3 games. Just don't tear your Achilles in 3 games. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's all the faith gone, man? It's like we lost in the Super Bowl. Yes, we did. We got embarrassed in the Super Bowl. We still a Super Bowl caliber team. What's going on?
I mean, we are, bro.
It's ridiculous.
Honestly, man, I think people are just really concerned. Like, they really just don't want Patrick Mahomes running for his life again. And if we do go back to the Super Bowl again, bro, that's all it is, man.
But Chuck, when has Pat not been running for his life? Bro, what year was Pat not running for his life?
Bro, not like that, bro. Not like that. Running 400 yards all over the field, trying to get away from the cops. That's what it felt like in that Super Bowl, man.
Hey, man, Pat played 4 years with the worst defense in college football history. I think he can handle a makeshift offensive line for a season.
I'm going to keep it a buck with you about Mahomes, though. Like, dude is almost perfect. But, like, if you watch him, he takes his drops sometimes way, way, way too far. And, like, that makes it hard on the tackles. Like, I don't care if it's an all-pro on either side, like prime Mitchell Schwartz on both sides or whatever. That's tough. Like, because if he takes a deep drop, the tackles expect him to be in a certain spot. And, like, when he hurt his ankle, that's when he started, like, he loses trust, I think, in the offensive line. Now, if you give him 2 good guards and an okay center, I think that helps and he'll step up into the pocket more. But, man, when he has those games, like the Atlanta game, that was one where it really stood out because they struggled all game long. He was dropping like 15 yards. I'm like, man, that's part of the reason why he makes those crazy plays where dude could like run around and Houdini his way into a big play. But also it creates a lot of pressure. And like you mentioned, or you think of Wasp, like in the Super Bowl, the only reason they made that play possible is because dude took a drop like 15, 20 yards deep. So if he does that more often, it's going to put pressure on the tackles. But, man, it doesn't really matter. I think if you put an average tackle there, an above-average tackle, a below-average tackle, that's just going to be tough. I think it's just a matter of how long it's going to take to get to him. So he can help them a little bit, but I think he'll make the receivers look better more so than he'll make the offensive line look better. But they still have some more work to do for sure.
Yeah, Jordan, you're absolutely right, man. I'm glad you brought that up because I noticed it too, man. Like this past season, it was like more noticeable than what it was before. Like he was dropping back far a little more often this season. Like it definitely looked like he didn't trust his offensive line and everything. But yeah, it's definitely partly on him too to make sure not to drop back that far as much. You know what I mean? To try to have a little more trust in those guys and not make it more stressful on your tackles. You know.
And did you just blame Mahomes?
I know that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's really hard to. Him and Brett Veach. Like you can't really put too much blame on them, and rightfully so. They're both great, but every once in a while you gotta kind of call it like it is with them because they are human.
Right. And Red Eagles here. He's talking about can Thune play center, have Long and LET on either side, and sign up Kung and have Niang at right tackle. I mean, where's your guys' opinion on that?
That's more likely than Long playing tackle, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if he's good or great at one position, don't move him. Jordan the GOAT. Michael Jordan? He is
I think let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Let's
nah,
keep it football,
Jordan is pretty good. Hey,
Yeah.
is it 100 for 100?
Yeah,
The 100
yeah.
for 100 series? That's dope, bro. That's you. We're gonna give you your flowers. You're doing a very, very good job, man. For real.
I
You
appreciate
put me
that,
on
bro.
some guys.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been fun, and like shout out to the Arrowhead Pride crew because like that's who made me want to really do that. Like Kent, Craig, Matt, all those guys. Like just man, like I've sat in with Craig and watched film with him, and like dude has a family and a job and a kid. Like I just go to school. I don't really do anything else, so I can't imagine doing all that and then sitting down at the end of the night and watching like hours and hours of film. So shout out to them because they're really the ones that kind of showed me how to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Man,
thanks for tuning in, bro.
I always ask Therese to watch film with him.
Yeah.
And I just never got to do it, man. I just always wanted to watch. I was like, dude, I got wings and things. I'm gonna break some chicken. We can watch some film. He like, man, I just let's make it happen, country. But it never happened, man. But sidetrack. Okay, let's get to I'm sorry, it's just on my mind. Juju got to be. I mean, I understand loyalty, I understand happiness, so I can't really be too mad at him. But dude, come on, like your options was this. Your options are Pat Mahomes in a Super Bowl caliber team, Lamar Jackson in a first round playoff exit team, Big Ben, who's they had to talk him into coming back, right? He was going to retire, and that's your options. That's your options, and then we go to money: $8 million and $3 million and $3 million incentives, $9 million and $4 million in incentives, $8 million, and then I heard the offer was really 7.5, and they threw an extra half a million on there just to make the money look better. Like that is the dumbest decision. Like, bro, come on. I mean, Trent Williams' decision. Yeah, man, you can't be mad at that. He set an all-time record. It ain't like he left for 4 years, $120 million. He left for $8 million. That was less than what he was getting. I don't understand it, bro.
Hear me out on that. Because I'm with you. I definitely would have went and played for the Chiefs. But like I saw this on Twitter and it kind of didn't make me change my mind, but I kind of get it more now. Like if this was the year that like all those receivers were supposed to take a 1-year deal and then cash out when the cap went back. So I was like, all right, whatever. So if Juju comes to Kansas City, he's behind Kelsey, he's behind Hill. He's basically getting Sammy Watkins targets, which I mean, you're winning and winning is going to get you paid. But if you go to Baltimore, is Lamar going to get you the ball often enough with Hollywood there? I don't know. If you stay in Pittsburgh, Ben's going to throw that dude the ball 150 times this season. And like whether they win or not, I think he's putting himself in a better spot to get a like 3-4 year deal. But still, like you said, I would have went to the Chiefs because winning a Super Bowl, I'll take that. I'm still going to get paid because I'm still going to be a good player. So I don't know.
But I'll counter that with this. What's the key to beating the Chiefs, supposedly? Double Tyreek, double Travis. Who's open?
That's true. Juju in single coverage.
There's games where Sammy Watkins has way more targets than Tyreek or Travis.
That's true.
If he could have been a dependable possession receiver, he would have hit the incentives. Like you know
That's
what I'm saying?
fair.
I feel what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying too. But he's the third option in Pittsburgh too. They got Deontay. They got Claypool. I don't like Chase Claypool.
Word, you don't like Chase
There's just
Claypool?
something about him, dude. I just do not like him.
Something about him.
I don't like him. Because I had him on my fantasy team, and every time I started him, he sucked.
Nothing. Yeah.
Shout out to Powerade.
You crazy, John. But yeah, man. Me and Jordan, we pretty much on the same page, man. I think at the end of the day, some of these cats, they do look into like being concerned about their own brand and like about getting enough targets to match their production and everything. In country, you definitely have some points, bro. You got some points, man. Like there were some games where Sammy Watkins had opportunities to shine and he did just that. But Juju just at the end of the day didn't feel the same way, Just
And
is, bro.
And another point is when you're hot, Pat's gonna find you. Sammy versus Jacksonville, DeMarcus versus Baltimore, or McCall versus Baltimore. Like if you're hot, he's gonna find you.
Yeah.
Like everybody is an option on every play because Pat got that arm, he got that mobility, and he got the strength to get it to you. So it's like, I ain't mad at him. Like I said, I understand loyalty. I understand being comfortable. But, man, I would have got really uncomfortable with Kansas City.
It's a good opportunity. Yeah.
It's a great opportunity. I don't get it, bro. You have the best quarterback in the league throwing you the ball. Like,
yeah.
So who else were we almost in on?
Yeah,
I don't think we were in on David Andrews. I think that center in the draft has always been the plan.
Yeah.
I think that's the plan. So with left tackle, I missed that last comment, bro. I'm sorry. With left tackle, I think Okung. I think, man, to fill in, I don't think that's a bad investment, bro, at all.
No, and I think the comment said, should they add more defensive talent in the draft, or should they re-sign the guys they had? I think it's something about like re-signing guys like Breland and Sorensen or whatever. But man, like Okung's a good, not good. I shouldn't say good. He's a respectable tackle for 1 year. And if the Chiefs have to downgrade from Fisher just a little bit for 1 year, but they upgrade it both guard spots, they get Niang at right tackle, which is probably better than Remmers, at least a little bit, without seeing him play, obviously. But man, I think center in the draft, like if a guy like Creed Humphrey's there at 31, I'm cool with taking him. He's a really good player. If they even traded back, which I don't think Veach has ever traded back. He's traded up, 5 times?
Yeah, he's been
every time.
yeah. Veach will always trade back if there's one thing about that dude, or trade up rather. Trading back and getting even Lyndon Dickerson if he slid, which with his medicals, who knows? But man, like you said, Country, I think center, if they added one in the draft, it's a lot easier to draft the center and play him than it is to draft the left tackle and play him. And that's depending on if they get Ryder back or whatever.
Okay, so say this. You get Okung, and he's doing okay. He's doing all right. And then say week 10, Eric Fisher looks like new money. Would you bring Eric Fisher back? And I don't know. I'm saying like,
man,
or you say week 8, Mitchell Schwartz is looking like he's looking like Mitchell Schwartz, which I don't know.
Yeah.
With a bad back, who knows? But that's also an option, I guess. That would be on the table. I think more of the Eric Fisher than Mitchell Schwartz, but I think that would be on the table around week 10.
Yeah, I think for me personally, it would be on the table. Like looking at the Chiefs, I think that ship has probably sailed, which it's whatever. I mean, they had really good runs, but man, like if Fisher is back and healthy, and what if they're like down bad at left tackle, like through 10 weeks and Okung is struggling and they put in a rookie and the rookie wasn't ready, like then you would have to at least think about bringing in some help, like Wisniewski at guard, like a dude who hadn't even played since week 1 was recovering from that shoulder injury or whatever, torn pec. Was coming in off the street, came in and did his little COVID testing deal and was there within a day and like got signed. So if there are options, I think within the season, I think people have like almost too much trauma from the Super Bowl, when the odds of something like that ever happening again, it's almost impossible. Like, that was literally the worst case scenario, and they're still bringing back Mahomes. They're still bringing back Hill. They got Kelsey. They got Chris Jones. They got Matthew. They have L'Jarius Sneed. Like, they have Willie Gay, who's going to step up. They have talent on that team. And, like, not to go on too long of a rant, but it's hard to get to the Super Bowl one time. They were a coin flip from doing it once. They got there and won. They got there and lost. That's a good run. Like, if you split up Mahomes' career into 4 4-year things, dude's just now starting act 2, and he already has 1 ring. If he gets 1 ring out of each act, that's 4 at the end of it all. And with his talent, who knows? Like, I'm just saying, it's not quite as bad as people really think.
Right. And they sleptwalked through the whole season.
Yeah,
through the regular season.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I do want another defensive end. I think they got to get that in free agency, because is the draft deep at DN, in your opinion?
In terms of starting DNs, no. Like, I think after that first round, unless a guy like Patrick Jones falls to the end of the second, that's really in any draft. If you want a starting caliber, like potential All-Pro or Pro Bowl, whatever, defensive end, you got to get that at 31. And, like, I think it's a good offensive line class at guard or tackle if they really want to, where if they waited, really you don't want to start a rookie left tackle anyway, I don't think, depending on who it is. So if they get that dude in round 3, or a center in round 2, or a guard in round 4, whatever they do, like, in terms of if a really good player falls to 31, it's got to be an edge. Like, you have to capitalize. Like, if Jalen Phillips for Miami, that dude is insane. If he falls to 31, like, medicals aside, the Chiefs could be set for a long time. And then you're not paying him that much either. And you have a 5th-year option. Frank Clark will probably be gone by then, so you can kind of offset that. So, man, I like Taco Charlton a lot. I think he's a good player who will help them in certain spots. But if you're starting Taco Charlton, I don't know what they expect out of that.
Yeah, I like him in the rotational.
Yeah.
He was good in a rotational place. You know, I like what he brought. I still think we should have kept Agba.
Yeah.
If we would have had those two together, that would have been impressive. Yeah, I think you're right. If you're going to go DN, it has to be the first round. The free agent option is, I think they wanted the guy from Detroit, Romeo
Aquara.
He would have been a nice signing. If you sign Clowney, it has to be cheap. It has to be very cheap, and I think he can hold up for a year.
I hope so. Yeah.
Jason, I'm with you, dog. Like, Akeem Hicks would be great, dude, because I seen the Bears defense without him, and the Bears defense took a huge dip when he wasn't in the lineup. So I wouldn't mind it.
What do you think the price tag on that is, though? 3?
Substantial. Probably substantial.
Like a first? Like a first round pick?
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
Early second, maybe.
Yeah, it's hard to figure, because then, like,
the team always,
yeah. There. Here, I have another thing I wanted to bring up, though. So I was talking to Connor Christopherson. He does stuff over on Arrowhead Report with us, because he's like the salary cap dude. He knows all that stuff, because it's hard for me to understand. But he brought up Derek Notty's contract and said, because he's up after this season. Connor said, like, 3 years, $24 million, like $8 million a year. Notty's a dude. I love Notty. He's a really good player, but he only plays 2 downs. Like, on 3rd down, your 4 is going to be Charlton, Tershawn Wharton, Jones, and Clark. Like, do you want to pay $8 million a year for a 2-down run stuffer, or do you want to go in the 4th round this year or 3rd round this year and get his replacement and save that $7 million. Like, it's something I just thought of recently, but I mean, I like Nutty a lot, but that's a tough call.
Well, with the TV deals and the salary cap, you might be able to slide that $8 million. I would hate to get rid. I just like Nutty. He's like a fan. He's not loud. He's not crazy. He just does his 2 downs and goes about his business. You know what I'm saying? And they totally. I don't know what happened with Colin Saunders this year.
Man,
that was weird. He lost his job apparently. But dang, I would look forward to keeping Nutty. I don't really want to trade Nutty or get rid of him. But hey, man, whatever they choose to do, as long as we get back to the Super Bowl, you can't really be mad.
Yeah, they've earned people's trust. Like, what have they done to not earn anyone's trust? Like, have they had a bad season with Mahomes yet? Have they not made the AFC Championship with him yet? Like, until they do that, I think you just kind of roll with the flow. Like, Veach has done as good as anyone could have asked him to, pretty much.
Yeah, ever since year 1, he definitely has gotten much better, you know. It's just a few misses here and there, but nothing really too substantial. I know more and more people harping on, you know, him taking McCall over you know, guys like DK Metcalf and Terry McLaurin, you know. But, you know, that's another story.
Yeah. And Breland Speaks. He did trade up. That 2018 draft was rough. He got, like, after that, I was like, man, I don't know if this dude's the one for the job. But then he definitely has redeemed himself because, like, Snead last year, Rashad Fenton the year before that, like, he's had some day 3 bangers. And, like, you can't, I think Kent tweeted this out, you can't rely on him to keep hitting on day 3 picks when his top 100 picks haven't been great so far. So if he can, like, just, he doesn't even have to find a superstar this year. Just find 3 or 4 guys who will be reliable. That's all you can ask for. Like, he can't hit on all 7. That's just impossible.
Yeah. But in the draft, normally the ratio is what? A starter in the first, or a superstar in the first, a starter in the second, rotational guy in the third, and the rest is
lottery tickets.
Yeah. So, it's about time for him to hit on one of those first round guys.
Yeah.
I love Beast to death, but you got to start hitting on one of those first round guys. I mean, Snead should have been a first round guy, apparently. Like, because he had a monster. If he wouldn't have got hurt, he should have been top 3 in defensive rookie of the year, definitely. Yeah, because he was beasting this year. Who else do we want to talk about?
Well, we could talk about this. Scotty Snacks said the Eagles just got the Steelers free agency, so I've seen that it was Anthony Harris, and he had a 1-year, $5 million deal. Now, what I've seen from Pro Football Focus, I've seen that he's tied for like the best grade since 2018 as far as safeties. But
I've like a 90 something.
Yeah, I've seen him play enough. Yeah, he's pretty solid, man. So yeah, I don't know how teams let that get by. So we might have used them.
Yeah, the Chiefs need a third safety, and imagine if that dude is your number 3. Like that's something, man.
Like I said, Dirty Dan. Every time we write him off, he always makes the play. But if more consistency to that position, that would be we can upgrade on. We can upgrade on Dan. I like Dan, but man, we can upgrade. And that 1 year for $5 million, that was rough. That was rougher than Trent Williams, to be honest. Because when I seen the figures for Trent Williams, I think we were both up at the same time because it came through really, really early in the morning. And I was like, well, Trent Williams signed for 6-1. Never mind. I'm cool on that. You know what I'm saying? So
the
Anthony Harris, that one kind of hurt. It was like, man, we could have got that.
Especially with that money lying around. They're not using any of it. So
But yeah, Jordan, let's get into the NFL draft, man, because like I want to hear some of your your draft crushes or like your dream scenarios as far as like the Chiefs, whenever they get in their position or whenever they on the clock. You know what I mean? So before I ask you about that, I want to ask you about a prospect that's been flying across my timeline every day. I'm gonna ask you about Ben Cleveland. That's another guy that's been coming across my timeline every day. What are your thoughts about Ben Cleveland? Is he the real deal as far as like offensive lineman in his draft class?
He's a good like 3rd or 4th round pick. I think like he'll definitely need to sit for a year. And like the thing, he's such a big dude that like in a zone run scheme like the Chiefs, where they like getting their guys to spots instead of assigning them to a person, like with Clyde there, getting him out in space, that's not really Ben Cleveland's game. So if they wanted a mauler like in the middle, like an Osemele guy, which ironically Osemele blew out his knees trying to get out in space and move, but he's a good player. I mean, dude weighed in at 354 at the Senior Bowl, which is absolutely insane. He's trimmed down quite a bit since then. I think he's at like 330 now. He ran, they said it was like a 4.8 unofficial at his pro day, but it's really like a 5.0. But still, I mean, he's a good athlete. He just needs to sit for a year. And I think there's a lot of guys in this class who need to sit and kind of see what's going on. But man, Ben Cleveland, he's super strong. He has really strong hands. When he gets his leverage set up, he's a really effective player. So I like him as like a 3rd or 4th round pick, probably.
Okay. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna ask you about your guys. You still doing the 100 for 100 series. So name some guys that's at the top of your list that could be a huge contributor for the Chiefs.
My like dream scenario is having to decide between Jalen Phillips, the edge for Miami at 31, or Rashad Bateman, the wideout for Minnesota. And I don't think either of them are going to be there. But man, if that happens, I'm not going to know what to do because they need a second wide receiver. They need an edge. I think both of those guys have Pro Bowl potential. Like Bateman, the thing with Bateman, the only thing he's lacking is like elite speed. And he like accelerates quickly. He can run routes. He's technical. He's smart. He's strong. He can jump. Like, that's going to get you the rest of the way. Like, someone compared him to being like a cross between Keenan Allen and Devontae Adams. That'd be a pretty damn good receiver. So I like Bateman a lot. And then, man, Phillips has juice. Like, he is a really interesting player on the edge. He's the one that retired from UCLA because he had concussion issues and then walked away for a year and came back. And it's like, dude never left. Like, he went through the transfer process and then came back and wrecked him. So those are two of my guys. And then Humphrey, Lyndon Dickerson, the center from Alabama, just the medicals, man. Like, he's had like 3 season-ending injuries. They're all big-time injuries. He's a really good athlete. He's been working out. So he's probably not a first-round pick. Like, if they took him at 31, I'd be cool with it. But if he slid to 63, like, you'd see my big, like sprinting up to the podium to turn that card in because he's a beast, man.
Yeah, who's another center in the draft?
I like Creed a lot.
Who's another? Man, you hear Creed, you hear Landon. Who else? Is in that?
Let me pull up my cheat sheet here. I have it on my monitor.
So basically, they're the cream of the crop, right? Those two.
They are the cream of the crop for sure. People mention Trey Smith. He's a guy like really. I think with centers, there's David Moore from Grambling State. A lot of the guys in this year's class have been brought up as guards that could play center, which is weird because like I didn't know that it was that easy to transition. I guess you're still on the inside, but a lot of them are just guards that could move in. Like people say, can Ben Cleveland play center? I don't think so. It just depends on the prospect. But really, it's Creed, Lando, then a guy like Trey Smith or David Moore or whatever. But they got options, and that's always a good thing.
I like Ben Cleveland's name. Like he just has a football name, Ben Cleveland. What about Spencer Brown? Is he like a left tackle?
Spencer Brown played. Yeah. Spencer played right tackle at Northern Iowa. Dude's 6'8.5". He's a big boy.
Like Jason Peters almost.
dude's huge,
Right.
and he only weighs like 310 pounds, and like he's a really lanky 310. So he's a dude. I just dropped his breakdown the other day. Man, if you sit him for a year and like let him figure out how to bulk up and learn how to play tackle at the pro level, that dude's ceiling is as high as anyone in the class. Like he's a good athlete. He has the size. He's strong enough in his upper body. Like Spencer Brown, he's a good player.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like when you get in the mock draft and you get to that like fourth, fifth round, it's like, who are these guys? Like, did I send you a mock draft? Was that you? I sent somebody a mock draft, and they was like, I was like, dude, after the fourth round, I just started guessing.
Yeah.
It was like, man, I would love this draft. Was that you?
Yeah.
That was you? Okay. Yeah.
Man, I was cracking
like,
up,
I was
bro.
lost after the fourth round.
I was cracking up.
That's funny. But yeah, man, I want to ask you about Deontay Brown for Alabama. I believe he was a left guard. Now, is he a guy to where like he could transition into like a future left tackle, or is he best suited to still be a guard?
Yeah, I think Brown's definitely a guard. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of his. I think like he's a solid player. He plays out in front of his toes a lot, like his balance isn't great. So then like you'll see him fall over, which like that's a weird thing for an offensive lineman to do, is just like basically collapse like on snaps. So that was kind of alarming when I was watching him. But dude's really strong and he's a great run blocker. And I think with Clyde last year, and really Clyde in general, he's a small dude. You need guys who can create some push up front and kind of open some lanes for him. So Tooney definitely helps start that. Man, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about like all the smoke around Allegretti moving back to center? Because I know he was drafted as one, but I don't think the Chiefs are like as hot on that as Chiefs Twitter is.
If they so hell bent on signing Ryder back.
Yeah. That says
has he
a lot.
even worked this center? Has he worked this center in training camp? I haven't even heard about
Maybe
that.
his first season. Yeah. Not in game.
Oh, so yeah, if they not hot on it. I just had a thought. So
Dang, I can't even answer the question, bro. Can I answer the question for you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. I just had a thought. I didn't want to forget it. My bad. I apologize. I'm sorry.
But yeah, man, I don't think they subscribe to Allegretti moving to center either. I think that's just a rumor. I think it's all smoke, in my opinion, too, man.
Yeah.
But the idea of bringing back Austin Ryder, man, I just really wasn't a fan of Ryder. I'm sorry.
Don't love it. Yeah.
I seen that he didn't give up a sack, but that was more so due to Patrick Mahomes avoiding the rush a lot of times, in my opinion. I seen Ryder get pushed around quite a bit, man.
Those numbers are capped for sure. Like the sack one is cool, but like in terms of pressures and stuff, you can watch him. Like he wasn't like bad per se, but he definitely wasn't good. And like if you want an like shoulder shrug okay center, like that's cool or whatever. But I think there's some good prospects in the draft to where they'd be all right.
Okay, so here's my question, my thought. Do you think they are building a line more for Patrick Mahomes or more for Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Silence.
I'm gonna go with Pat just because. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pat because he's the quarterback and he's gonna be there longer than Clyde. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if Clyde will be there in 4 years. Like after that contract is up, just because he's running back, and that's tough to see what they're gonna do. So, also, man, I want to see what they do with Clyde this season. Like, because when he got drafted, everyone was saying, "Oh, he can line up out wide. He can line up in the slot. He's going to be this like huge chess piece." And they kind of flashed a couple games where they were using him like that, and then they talked about doing it in the playoffs, and then like they abandoned the whole thing. So in order to get the most value out of him, I think especially if you don't sign a wide receiver, you kind of mess around with that and see what happens. But I think they're building it for Pat just because of how bad that Super Bowl was. I think Veach really did kind of realize, hey, I have to maybe even overcompensate for that.
Yeah. Now, when I say building it for Clyde, I mean more to like fit his skill set
Oh,
so
for
he
sure.
can run
Yeah,
better. Not like building
Yeah.
it for him to run.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
that's one move that I did not like. I did not like them cutting Damian Williams.
Yeah.
I didn't like that move. I think,
Yeah.
especially, and that's the reason I didn't want to cut LDT. Is like they opted out for a great reason. I mean, well, not great. His mom was sick and all that. They opted out for a serious reason, and I thought it would be bad PR to cut either one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we plan in the season and you trade them on the deadline or something, like, fine, that works. But to cut him, like, and then we haven't made any moves with the money either, so it's like, that sucks. I don't like that move at all.
It's one of those things where like the business of like that's the ugly side of the business. And like, was it from a business standpoint the right move? Probably. But in terms of like looking at it and a dude that really worked hard for the team and was, like you said, opting out for a serious reason and a good reason, it's tough to see him go. But man, he's a decent running back. I think he's going to land on his feet, but it does suck that he won't be back with the team. That like that Super Bowl run at the end of the game, like to seal it, that's like a top moment in Chiefs history, and they can never take that from him.
Yeah, he had an incredible run. He'll probably sign to Houston.
Yeah, man.
They need running backs apparently in all of them.
Or the Raiders, they've been signing every running back out.
What? I can't even say anything. Like, how do you trade away or get rid of like 3/5 of your line, and then invest in a backup running back like $15 million? That's like peak Raiders. Like, if I could pinpoint one thing they would do that like just define them, that would be it. Like, I just don't get it, man.
And you know what? I hate the Raiders, but that was a very smart move, not cutting those guys and then trading them. They screwed us because, man, I think Rodney Hudson was so unexpected. I think he shot on everybody's radar. Like, what? They about to cut this guy? And that was a very smart move. I hate to give them credit, but that was a genius move not to cut those guys and get something for them. Get some nice picks, too.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know what Arizona is doing. Like, some of the moves being made, like, what are they doing? Like, New England. They've signed 20 guys. Who are these guys? Like, they haven't signed nobody that's like, oh, man, like, scary. And then Houston is just signing. I don't know if they're trying to fill their whole roster with free agents, but they haven't made any great signings either. Like, nobody's blown me away in free agency yet.
I think New England, they to me, they just sign people just to sign people, honestly. Because look, like Nelson Aguilar, I think he was a product of the Raiders' offensive system, a product of John.
It's an overpay.
Yeah. And like,
huge overpay.
It's like I need to see another year of production like that before I'm convinced. So that was a reach. And then Kendrick Bourne, he's in a bigger role this time because in San Fran, he was like your red zone guy, basically, or sometimes your third down guy. So I'm not too convinced on that either. And then like Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, they're extremely talented tight ends. But the thing is, they be in and out of the lineup, man, like their injury history. So that's another concern. So it's like, I don't know, man. New England, it's not really.
Henry is Henry like the Charger curse, or is he really just an injured guy? Because the Chargers, man, they lose 4 guys every season.
Watch, he'll never get hurt. He'll never get hurt again for the rest of his career now that he's off that team.
Wouldn't that be the craziest thing ever if he never got hurt again? Oh, my God. Jonnu Smith, I like him. That would have been a nice second receiver. We got Blake Bell. We got our blocking tight end. I think we still need a receiver. What about Brevin Jordan from Miami? You like him or what's the guy, Tommy from Notre Dame?
Trimble. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot about him.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
man.
Jinx.
Yeah, Tommy and Brevin, they're two different receivers. I think like Brevin would be that guy. He lined up like out wide sometimes at Miami. Like he's a dude who can do a little bit of everything. Where I think if they didn't have Kelsey, that would be like a really good option for them as a guy who can step in and take over that role. I think Tommy personally would be a better fit. He didn't really get the ball nearly as much at Notre Dame. They used him as like that H back where he would line up in the backfield like a fullback, basically. And he's athletic. He has good hands. He just is raw. And I think, man, they could afford to do that as like a 4th-round pick to where he'd be like Blake Bell on steroids with like actual hands and athleticism. Which I mean, Blake Bell's a good run blocking tight end, but if he had actual hands and ran fast and could run routes, he'd be a decent tight end. So I think that if they don't get that TE2, because I'm with you, I think they still need to add one, that either of those guys would be cool.
Yeah, and
So you're giving up on Nick Kaiser.
I hate to say it, but I think I'm going to give up on Nick Kaiser. I'm selling that stock right now.
I'm about to say, duh. But I did hear that the Chiefs, they did. I heard it was a rumor. It's a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but I did hear that they met up with Brevin Jordan not too long ago. Maybe done some evaluations and stuff. And like I was pretty high on Brevin Jordan. Like I watched a few Miami Hurricanes games and he popped off the screen for me, more so on the receiving end. And I would definitely love to have him there. You know what I mean? He's
always available at 63 in the mock drafts.
Yeah. And dude's a playmaker, man. He's gonna be good.
Well, Jordan, before we go and wrap things up, man, I know we had the big news going on across the league, man, with Deshaun Watson, all these allegations coming out of nowhere, man. What's your thoughts on the entire situation? Because we all know that he's been wanting out of Houston for a while now, because he don't like the direction the Houston Texas organization has been going, and now he's got all these allegations coming up. What are your current thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, man, I have to pick my words carefully because, like, I think everybody does when we talk about something like this. Like, I believe women when they say stuff like this, and it's really interesting. I guess not interesting isn't the word for it. That 10 or 12 or 7 or however many have come forward and said something, and people think like they're setting him up. Houston's trying to make him look bad, but that also does make the team look bad too because they're employing him. But frankly, like I'm a huge Deshaun Watson guy. Like it'll break my heart if that turns out to be true. Like that dude, great role model, like to this point, great leader, great teammate. It just doesn't seem like something he would do. It's just weird, man. Like I still can't really wrap my head around it, and I'm kind of taking that innocent until proven guilty stance just because I want to believe that he didn't do anything wrong. But man, if he did, then I can't support him anymore. That's just kind of how it goes. Like we've seen even with Tyreek Hill that even when it looks really, really, really bad, it's possible these guys didn't do the stuff they're being accused of. But I guess we just kind of have to wait and see. It's disappointing. I'm not all the way out on Deshaun Watson yet because, like we said, there's still more stuff to figure out here. But it's interesting and it's disappointing for sure.
I think it's like the timing of it. Yeah, it's just that's what's confusing. It's like, yeah, come on, man. Like what? I don't even know exactly what he's doing. But it's just like the lawyer, he seems a little shaky, and then it went from 3 to 10 to 22 to like it just sounds crazy in the timing of it. He's in this controversy right now. Guilty until proven. Innocent until proven guilty, but I don't want to disrespect the women that came out. But it looks a little shaky, but like you said. If he's innocent, then that lawyer and all those people need to be prosecuted the same way y'all prosecuted right now. So I want to see as much coverage on an innocent Deshaun Watson as we're putting on a guilty Deshaun Watson.
Yep, facts.
Yeah, and what I've learned from this, man, I think you guys hit on it, man. Like this guy said, innocent till proven guilty. Because with stuff like this, some of this can be tricky, and like just from seeing cases like this and allegations like this, man, I've always waited for the most part to wait till all the evidence presents itself and then come up with my own conclusion from there. So it is definitely a rough situation. I mean, I hate the fact that he's in it right now. But like before all this happened, man, like just seeing how the Texas organization is in general, I didn't want Deshaun to sign that contract. I'm like, bro, you really could just play out your rookie contract and see how it goes, man. Because I really felt like a different organization would have paid him a huge amount of money and, would have listened to him on like ideas, I guess like roster moves and stuff like that. So we just have to see what happens, man. I mean, I hope he didn't do anything. So
yeah, me too. Well, if he's innocent, there's absolutely no way you can keep him in Houston. You gotta get rid of him at that point, right?
Really, I don't think you can keep him either way. Like, I'm a firm believer. Like, if you have an unhappy superstar, it sucks. You get rid of him. Like, there's no way he has some like James Harden in Houston. It drags the team down. It's a distraction. Like even Marcus Peters when he was with the Chiefs. Now there's kind of a gray area about whether he actually requested a trade or not. But if he did, and you have a young star player who wants out, you don't want that around your team. Like it sucks that you're going to lose that player, but you have to kind of recoup what you can. Like I don't get the Texans obviously know what they have because Watson's a top 5 quarterback. Like he's fantastic. He's young. He has that contract. But if he's not going to play, you're wasting your time. And like you don't hand who did they bring in? Was it Tyrod Taylor?
Yep, Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. You don't hand that dude $10 million to be a backup to Deshaun Watson. Like that's an insurance policy and them basically saying the end might be near. Like I think they just kind of need to cut their ties. But man, the timing of all of this is, I don't want to call it fishy, but it's just weird. It really is like weird that all this stuff is kind of, it's almost scary that it's happening around the same time.
It gives off vibes of a smear campaign. Like it's just crazy. So not to say we're not choosing sides, we're not picking any sides. It just sounds fishy. But hopefully it's not true. I mean, but even if it's true, that's sad too. That people would go to that length to, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a sad situation. There's really no win either way, in my opinion.
No,
it's just a bad situation.
Right, because I said it too, country. Like when this news first came out, I said, man, this sounds like a smear campaign. And now the allegations are tallied up, and it's like, I mean, I'm just gonna wait and see how things play out, man. But at the end of the day, man, we're just gonna wait and see what happens, man. My thoughts are with Deshaun, and my thoughts are with the possible victims if it is true. You know what I mean? So
definitely.
That's all you can do. That's it. Like you can't really pick one side or the other. You just got to kind of. There's so much behind the scenes going on that we do or don't know that did or didn't happen. So that's it.
Yep. But Jordan, man,
we can't end on that note. I'm sorry.
I know. Because I'm about to ask him one more.
Okay, Jordan. Okay, look. Let's do, in order to save this free agency season, I need you to sign 3 guys right now to save the fans from killing each other on Twitter like we for the last 3 days.
I'm going to answer that, and then I know Chuck had a question, so I'm going to let him bring his up after. But, man, 3, I think Josh Reynolds, the wide receiver from the Rams, he was just stuck behind a bunch of dudes. I think he could be he's like 6'3", 200. Like, he has X size, so I like him. I'm going to combo this one, bring back Sorensen and Breland. Like, I don't love either of them, but not having to worry about a safety this year, not having to worry about a corner this year is definitely going to help. So I like that. Then one more player. I think
Bring it
Russell
home.
Okung. I think
Hey.
Russell Okung. Yeah, I think it. I don't really care for Villanueva. I definitely prefer Okung, and I think that for 1 year you can draft a rookie tackle in rounds 1, 2, or 3, and then you can have him sit behind Okung. So
Yeah, those are pretty solid, man. I was definitely going to ask
That's
you,
pretty
Ryan,
good.
because this question came up. So I didn't know if we had interest in Zach Ertz. I mean, is that a thing, or was that just a rumor just floating around? Zach Ertz.
Jordan definitely does not have
Nate
interest in
Taylor
Zach Ertz.
reported it.
You said Nate Taylor reported it?
Yeah, Nate Taylor. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Jordan?
No, I was saying I didn't know if you were asking we as in Jordan, because Jordan definitely does not have interest in Zach Ertz. But man, Nate said they do. So I just like when I say tight end 2, I didn't know they meant like tight end 2, like Zach Ertz tight end 2. So I just don't know. It feels like it'd be a little bit redundant. I don't know if he's ready to accept being its second tight end, but man, it's like if Nate says they're interested in him, that says a lot. Like I'm surprised they even picked up the phone on that. So I mean, that means the Chiefs have a lot of stuff they're interested in behind the scenes that we don't even know yet. Like we forget it's still pretty early in the offseason. Like, yeah, the first big wave of free agency happened, but there's still a ton of stuff that might happen.
Yeah. I'm surprised Country didn't ask you this, but would you be open to an Alex Smith reunion to close out his NFL career?
Yeah. I like Josh Briscoe, we were in a group chat like on Slack, and he messaged the chat and was like, would either of you guys be interested in writing a story about that? And I was like, yeah, me. And like within an hour I had it all typed up and sent out. So I don't think it'll happen, but I definitely would be interested in it because like, dude, what better way to go out than win a ring? Like obviously as a starting quarterback it'd be better, but to come back where it all began, essentially like that career resurgence with the Chiefs, him and Mahomes obviously get along really well. Like it'd be good to have in the quarterback room. I think he'd be better than Henny and Matt Moore. Like I still think Alex could maybe start on like a 30th or 31st ranked team or whatever. But I think it'd be pretty cool.
I think the door's open because he hasn't went back to Jacksonville yet, which is Urban Meyer, the connection. He has that connection there. We can save a couple dollars by getting rid of Henny and Moore and bringing Alex. It's a redemption story. Who else better? He transitioned right over to quarterback, offensive coordinator. Anything
Man, Country, you might need a life raft, my dude.
Charles, would you hire Alex Smith as the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs?
I don't know about head coach, but he could be on the staff, man. He could be on the staff as a quarterback coach to start off. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
that.
definitely could be OC. All right. So, hey, Jordan, man, like it was everything I expected it to be, man. You did a great job. Look out for his 100 for 100 Roughing the Kicker podcast. He got great guys on there. Connor's the guy with the long hair, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's Connor.
Okay, yeah. He was on A10 the other day, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Connor's cool. And Tucker. We got to get more Tucker TikToks. That was hilarious.
No, we don't. Don't encourage that, dude, man. We don't need that, dude. Like I have like PTSD from watching that stuff, dude. I can't. No, they're pretty funny. Like in all honesty, they're pretty funny.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I like Tucker. So man, we definitely appreciate you coming on the podcast and give us a lot of information. We appreciate you really get back with you. Definitely, like we said, let's really get Tucker in at the same time. And we appreciate you, man. Everybody like and subscribe. We're working on the Apple issue. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to try to get it fixed ASAP. And, man, let's kick off the rest of this free agency week.
Yes, sir. Man, thank you guys.
Meanwhile, our country.
You're welcome, man. No problem.
My country was drowning over there.
You said what?
Before I let you, I said while you was drowning over there. Before I let you go, Jordan, who you got? Who you got winning the national title game, man? Who you got cutting down the nets in March Madness, man?
I got Gonzaga, man. I had Colgate upsetting Arkansas. I had Ohio State winning against Oral Roberts, obviously. So my bracket's long gone, but man, I have the Zags going all the way. I think that Jalen Suggs is. I tweeted this out, I think, Thursday night. Like, it's the year of the reliable player, I think. And that dude's as reliable as they come. Like, he reminds me of a Halliburton that plays for the Kings. Like, he's good at everything. He doesn't really excel in one particular area. He can step in and fit any system. So I think that with good coaching, good leadership, that they'll be good. In country, bro, you mentioned wings and things. What sauce do you prefer? I know that's an off-topic question.
Woo! The popular one right now is honey spicy. I'm a honey garlic.
That's the one I get.
I like the honey garlic.
I like both.
Yeah, that honey garlic is the truth.
Yeah, that'll get you right.
Lemon pepper on top of mine, but
oh man.
Yeah, y'all gotta try that, man. Honey garlic with the lemon pepper sprinkle. My cousin probably gonna kill me for saying that because it's not on the menu, but put it on the menu.
I'm heading out right after the show to get that. Yeah, I'm about to go out there and do it right now.
Well, tell Darren I said what's up, man.
Hell yeah.
Well, all right.
Take us out, Charles.
Yeah, for sure. All right, people, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, share all your social media platforms. Till the next episode of Kingdom Kast, we are out of here.
Yeah.